Hey, Gumby, what's up, dude?
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Potion, that's going to depend on the type of proxy you need, because there are multiple kinds. I will have about as much time to read that source code potion as I will to finally fix all the sub alerts that aren't working on the stream. I am unfortunately just super busy, man. If it's another project you're working on and you're trying to re-implement it, that sounds like it might be a purpose-built proxy. So that's going to be a different scenario. That's pretty much how most proxies work. Potion is they typically act like a man in the middle. Right. The time is upon us. Let's get it started. Except, hold on. Is this turned on? I think so. We'll find. You know what? Screw it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Is it there? Yes, it is. It's working. What's up, everyone? Missed y'all last night. Unfortunately, out at the race, there was just no reception. It was real bad. But hold on. So, Potion, you were asking about proxies. Is Twitch looking... It looks like Twitch's video is going crazy right now. All right. Hang on one sec, guys. I'm just double checking some stuff on the stream. Checking the stream monitors. All right. Kick and Twitch are looking all right. I think YouTube is finally caught up. You see. Yep. Okay, we're good. All right. Yes, we're back. GoPro, what's up, brother? Let me close this up. Hello. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So sometimes right when I start the stream, the packet loss just goes insane. Dude, I'm doing all right, man. Just got back from a race. Agent Zero was racing this weekend, and he killed it again with first place. And that was after. So... Hold on, Potion, I will go through the proxy stuff real quick. But, so the race started out like this, man. So, the starting line was here. There was a big first turn coming in right here. And then here's the whole shot line right about meow. And then right over about meow is a giant a giant mud pot right here. So, he came around... kind of like this, and one of the kids cut in real close right here and actually had a little bit of trouble. So Agent Zero goes around him, hits that mud pot right there, does a full donut 360. The two other kids in his class run past him, and then he takes off after them. So they had about, I don't know, maybe a 20-second head start on him. And they're just as fast as he is, but he clawed his way back up to first place. So that was a really good race on his part. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The only thing that was not fun was the freaking humidity, man. I felt like a boiled lobster out there. It was insane. So, but what's up, 57? And it was also really nice of Gumby was giving me live weather updates because he knew where the race was. Unfortunately, Gumby, the weather completely missed the race. Like, we barely had any kind of precipitation out there. But it hit my freaking house in Dallas full force, man. One of my neighbors, let me just tell you how bad this was. One of my neighbors posted that they've got 24 cards for different roofing companies that they've collected today. You don't go collecting those when everything's nice. Yeah. Dr. Reiki, what's up, dude? Dude, it was wild. So, I'm right down in South Dallas, and it hit my neighborhood like a freaking Thor's hammer. Just goosh! Everybody who parked outside, their cars are golf balls. My roof, which is now a week old, because I just had it replaced. I just had the solar panels remounted on Thursday. 3 of the panels are massively damaged. and the roof has already gotten damage on it. The roof is a freaking week old, man. 22 roofing companies and not a skilled tradesman between them. So after the fourth one came up to the house this morning, because we were driving back, I got up at 6:30 this morning. We packed up the trailer. There's a whole bunch of churches there, so we went to mass, and then we got breakfast, and then we drove back. So I got back into town about 1:30, and I was talking to Sock on the phone about 10 o'clock. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, she'd already had 5 of them come to the door. So, yeah, what was I to do, Gumby? Was I to put the inflatable house around the house? I can't foam pad the whole house. So I appreciate all the weather updates. It's just like, there's just only so much I can do. And you would have had to have told me like 2 weeks ago, so I could have pushed off all the roof work to this week. Man. Oh, the timing. You have a rental business for inflatables? Nice. So, yeah, I get to go second round on a roof to figure out what's going on with it. I don't have enough blankets and pillows to cover my entire roof, man. Yeah. And so what Sock ended up doing after the 5th one came to the door, and she opened the door and there were 3 more like business cards stuck in the door. She wrote up a sign that said roof's taken care of and stuck it on the door. Oh man. Yeah, so that was fun news to get this morning. Other than that, man, I got back into town about 1:30, and then I started power washing. Let's see, took a little bit of a break, got some coffee, and because we just drove straight through, we didn't stop, and so it was about a 3-hour drive. Thankfully, not that far. There was no traffic, but we got back about 1:30, and about 2 o'clock, I started power washing Agent Zero's 4-wheeler. Because there were probably about 6 of those big mud spots on the track, and he did 7 laps. So you're talking, he had 42 mud encounters. That thing was just spackled. It took me 2 hours to power wash it. It was crazy. Anyway, okay, so potion. Hold on, let me see what you're talking about here. So you're looking at your proxy setup here. I get this for all the settings of forwarding for all servers, so I'm messing up somewhere, or I don't know, because Minecraft proxies are never nice except on Bedrock Edition. Dude, I don't know what to tell you here. So typically every proxy you're going to use, Potion, except for possibly a VPN, like a full-blown VPN, is going to do some kind of a man in the middle. So for example, a Socks proxy here. Socks is the one that I use the most during my day-to-day here. So you've got a client, and then you've got a server, and then you've got some target system you're trying to reach. So what happens here is it goes like this. You actually do basically your regular TCP handshake back and forth to the server. Once that's established, the server is actually going to come over here and actually do its own 3-way handshake back and forth to the target. And then after this is done, then the packets are actually going to flow through like this. So it looks like everything for the target's perspective is coming from the server over here. And that's how they're going to go back and forth. So essentially it's kind of man-in-the-middling the TCP connection. However, it's not necessarily going to be inspecting anything above it. So anything that was encrypted could still go through the SOCKS proxy. The SOCKS proxy itself is not encrypted, but if you're using it to connect to a system that's using like HTTPS or TLS or whatever, then yeah, all that high-level stuff is going to be encrypted. This machine right here would still be able to read like the IP address, the port of everything you're going back and forth in, but it's not going to be able to read any of that layer 5 and above stuff on the OSI model. And then when you're dealing with something like Minecraft, where you need real-time proxying stuff, that's a completely different can of worms, because this adds a whole lot of a whole lot of pathing into it. Now, if you're doing a proxy, since I know you are always tweaking on Minecraft, that you are trying to get it to like intercept and modify data, that's a completely different set of things. And those are very customized proxies whenever you use those. So that's why I always stress whenever people are going through and looking at wanting to move into a offensive security, start with networking. Because if you don't understand the networking, you're kind of beat. All right. I just saw this real quick, actually. I wanted to show y'all because I know a lot of folks in here are messing with different types of AI harnesses and agents and whatnot. So this guy said this guy on Reddit lost $200 in one day because he had a particular string called Hermes.md in his Git commits. So he goes through and reads through this, but I actually wanted to bring up the actual picture here. Hold on. Let me see if I can open this in a new tab where I can like zoom in on it. All right. So the story was he's on a Claude Max plan, $200 a month. And all of a sudden it started throwing out, you're out of extra usage. So if you're not familiar with how Claude does their billing, whenever you hit your usage limit on your Max, your Pro, whatever plan, you can enable additional usage by paying the regular API rate. So that's what this is extra usage is talking about here. And it was weird because my plan dashboard showed 13% weekly usage and 0 for the current session, 86 capped right there untouched. $200 in extra charges gone, burned through my entire monthly limit on what should have been covered by my subscription. So I spent hours debugging this, tried logging in and out, different models, fresh installs, nothing. Their support agent suggested Claude log out and log in. That didn't fix it. Went through 4 rounds of AI support bot that kept pasting the same scripted response. Finally gave up on support and did what apparently nobody in Anthropic would bother to do to actually diagnose the problem. Went full binary search across repos and commit history, cloned repos, tested orphan branches, isolated commits, narrowed down to a specific string. Hours on my Saturday gone until I found the trigger. The string Hermes.md, Hermes in all capitals, in a recent git commit message. Claude Code includes recent commits in the system prompt, and something server-side sees Hermes.md and decides to route you to extra usage billing instead of using your plan. Yeah. That's pretty freaking wild. So he wasn't even using Hermes. He was using Claude Code with his Claude subscription, but because Hermes.md appeared in the commit and then made its way into the system prompt, it burned him. Yeah. Anthropic is quickly burning up any kind of goodwill they had towards folks. So I just wanted to bring that up as an FYI. I was checking stuff before the stream and wanted to get going. Hermes is expensive. I thought Hermes was open source because I never used Hermes. Hermes AI agent. Are you talking about like it's expensive in the number of tokens it's going to burn through? Because I would not be surprised there. Yeah, I've heard some people talking about it, but I just haven't messed with it. Oh yeah, dude, they've been blocking everything in there. On about the bags. I gotcha. So anyway, that was just a little bit of a warning for you guys that, hey, by the way, Anthropic can do shady stuff. This is also part of the reason why I don't put extra API tokens onto Anthropic. Nope. So if I burn through my usage limit, I just burn through it. In fact, I'm probably about to downgrade from the 5X subscription, maybe just back down to Pro. I just don't need it a lot anymore. I'm not terribly impressed with 4.7. I'm probably never see Mythos in there. And honestly, I have access to Codex, and Codex has been working really well. Hey, Cypher, what's up, dude? Oh yeah, that's true, GoPro. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's an A/B test going on that somehow the A, which was remove Claude code from Pro, hit 98% of people. I was like, yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot so hard, man. And their lunch is getting eaten because there's so many folks that are coming up and they're like, hey, by the way, all the cool research that you did with Mythos and how it's going to end cybersecurity, we're doing that with open source models. We're just changing the harness. I'm like, it's kind of what I figured was going to happen. So anyway, I didn't really have too much planned for tonight, but I still have I still have monthly subscription keys I need to send out to the last round of winners. I still have 5 keys left. So what I was planning on doing is let's go through Let's Defend. Falcon hooked us up with 10 of the 1 month VIP keys to give out. So I was like, cool, let's go through that. So let's go see like what we can do. I checked with him. He said, yeah, we should be good to go through some of the free stuff in here. So yeah, I know you do, Potion. I know you do. Let me go see what we've got here. So what do they have on the free side here that we could go through? Yeah. No, I will not be giving out keys to my house. No. No, 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 no. All right, I'm going to go to like the very... I don't know where to go with this. All right, let's do it. Let's start with the, maybe not the beginner stuff. Let's start with the easy stuff in here and see what we can go through. All right, so they got a security plus prep path, wireless networking, securing TCP IP. I want to see if they got anything that's a little bit more. Okay. Ethernet basic. This is really basic. Okay. Which is good if you don't know these things, but I do. And I don't want it to be too basic in here. Actually, let's go try this one. Understanding types of attacks. This is on their incident responder one. Can we do this? It's going to say you have to pay. Damn it. Okay, so for on the free tier, you get the SOC environment. Okay, so is that the practice one? Let's go see real quick. Where's the SOC environment here? Endpoint security? I guess maybe this is the SOC environment. Let's go see. We'll see. CVE 2025, SharePoint, Tool Shell, Auth, Bypass, and RCE. Oh. So can I work on this one? Let me see. Take ownership. Yes, I'm sure. Let's see what happens. We're going to just kind of mess around with it a little bit. We got the 404. So what do we do with this? Create case, close alert. All right, so let's see what they've got here. So we got to go through and kind of analyze this, and I'll bring this up a little bit here. So this is like their simulated SOC environment. I know nothing about Let's Defend. I didn't even know this was a thing until Falcon's like, hey man, I'm going to hook you up with some keys. I'm like, cool, man. So I thought I didn't really have anything else planned for tonight. I've been turning and burning all day. So I was like, let's go through this. Let's go see what it's got. I'm using Rangeforce to learn SOC, but wanted to ask about your opinion on what the best environment to learn on. I've never tried Rangeforce. So because I work on the offensive side, I don't really go look into a lot of the defensive forces. Another reason I kind of wanted to do this one, because it's good to know what's going on in the defensive realm. Offensive security is not for everybody. Defensive security is not for everybody. But there's usually more availability in the defensive side than on the offensive side. So I like to make sure people understand that when they're going through it. Also, some people, especially like if you start doing something like threat hunting or... Yeah, Jay, what's up, dude? So the middle ground there would be something like threat hunting. You're doing a lot more... You're doing probably the most offensive-oriented defensive material that you'd be doing. Fronting, yes. Thrunting sounds something... I don't know. It sounds dirty. Yeah, it sounds like you should be doing that like behind closed doors, you know? Okay, I'm gonna cut myself off there real quick. I'm also probably slightly delirious from being dehydrated and sunburned, so just FYI, if I'm a little extra out of sorts tonight. Dude, it was so hot this weekend. What'd you miss? Dude, we're looking at, in the free tier right now, what you get access to is they have their, I'm guessing their practice area here, where you can come through in like their simulated SOC environment. So what we have is we've got a critical that said this is suspected for CVE 2025 53770. So first thing let's do, let's just go look up the CVE and see what it is in here. And so first thing we come to is we got a blog post by Cyber Reason. And honestly, if I'm looking at this, I might want to go check out like what are particular indicators of compromise. Let's see. Okay, so for the historical incident response investigation, search for post requests that contain layouts 15 tool pane display mode edit. All right, so let's go check that real quick. So what did we see in here? Layouts 15 tool pane exclamation point display mode edit and toolpane.aspx. So I mean, we've got part of this in here, right? We've got this section. Look for a referrer header of layouts sign out ASPX and possibly a Firefox user agent or its URL encoded form. Okay, so we do see Mozilla as the user agent. The referrer was layouts sign out, which was the correct one. That's the referrer. Okay, so far we're matching the IOCs from this. So it's not looking like a false positive at the moment. Hey, Deefus, what's up, dude? I have a blog where I thrunt out in the open. See, that's what I'm talking about. Thrunting doesn't sound... I don't think of threat hunting when I think of, the word thrunting. I think of something that probably happens between two consenting adults. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, IOC is an indicator of compromise. So whenever you see that, for example, anytime you're looking up information about a particular CVE or a particular exploit, they will typically also publish indicators of compromise, meaning these are things you could go and look back through in your logs to see if it has already happened after the publishing of the CVE, or something that you could, if you can't patch right away, you could build alerts around in case these IOCs come through. So say, for example, this affects on-prem SharePoint, right? So if for some reason you can't patch your on-prem SharePoint, then you do your defense in depth. You'd come through and you could build rules to say, okay, if we see this pattern here, right? Let's see. Here we go. Historical look back. So we say, okay, if we see a post request that matches this, and if we see a referrer header and then from that, if it also has a referrer header that matches this, and then we see, what is this? Rotate SharePoint ASP.NET machine keys. So these keys were targeted by the initial threat actors to generate a valid view state token. So follow-on threat actors appear to be deviating from that pattern. So that's not necessarily a hard one right there. These would be the two main ones you probably would look for. Search for ASPX web shells. Okay, that's probably the next thing we're going to do from that. I was an IT analyst for 4 years. Any premises of SP is PTSD. Oh. Dude, SharePoint. I hate SharePoint. I'm going to be real with you. Because everything Microsoft does now is just a SharePoint wrapper. If you didn't know this, Teams is just a SharePoint wrapper. It's doing everything in SharePoint on the back end. And I freaking hate Teams. I saw one of the best memes ever. It was a picture of this incredibly old, wizened, wise-looking lady. And it said, 110-year-old Turkish grandmother reveals her secret to a long and fruitful life. And then there's a quote at the bottom. It says, I never once used Microsoft Teams. I believe that lady was onto something. Let's see. Oh, they've actually got some other cool ones in here. Another one is investigate the W3WP executable spawning encoded PowerShell scripts. Okay. So let's go take a look at it. We'll use this kind of like as our guide and our playbook in here. So we can probably go ahead and open an investigation into this because the post request matched it. It was showing as coming from Mozilla. Firefox 120. They mentioned a particular one in here. Yeah, Firefox 120.0. So, okay, we probably got some stuff going here. So we don't want to close the alert. We want to create a case. And then I believe we'll come over to... here we go. So start playbook. I don't know what this platform even does. I want to run through it. You're damn right, Cypher. I am not a team player. Well, correction. I'm not a Teams player. There's a difference there. Okay, let's see. So understand why the alert was triggered. So in order to perform a better analysis and determine whether the triggered alert is a false positive, it's first necessary to understand why the rule was triggered. So instead of starting the analysis directly, first understand why the rule was triggered. We already did that. That's why we opened the case. So examine the rule name. Rule names are usually created specifically for attacks to be detected. And then also detect between which two devices the traffic is occurring. So it's a good starting point to understand the situation by learning about the direction of the traffic, what protocol is being used between the devices. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of cool. So like I said, it's supposed to be a learning and simulating environment. So I like this. So gather some information about that can be gathered quickly to get a better understanding of the traffic. These can be summarized as the follows. Ownership of the IP address. If the traffic is coming from the outside, like the internet. Ownership of the IP address. Was it a static pool or a web host? And reputation of that IP address. So, hey, do we see it in like VirusTotal? Do we see it in, let's see, Cisco Talos? Any of those. So if the traffic is coming from the company network, get the host name of the device and who owns the device, like the user, and the last time they logged in. Oh, there's so much in here. All right. Examine the HTTP traffic. Disclosure, please say psych right now. Please say psych. Anyway, so it wants us to look through the web traffic in here. Check the traffic content for any suspicious conditions such as web attack payloads. Examine all the fields in the request since the attacker does not only attack through the URL, all data from the source should be examined to understand whether this was a real attack. You can review the Web Attack 101 tutorial if you want to. That's cool that it actually sends you over to it. Decide whether the traffic is malicious or not based on your investigations. You can find the related training below. I haven't had, hold on. I looked at it here. What are we looking at here? Let's see, case management. There we go. Yeah, this is what I wanted to look at. Go back. Can I see all the details for this? Hold on. I wanted to see. Where was the one we just looked at, though? This is cool, though. They have a simulated endpoint security. That's sick. Hold on. Where was the one we just took action on? Part of this is just learning how to navigate their platform. Okay. This is event 320. Do I need to go back over here and look 320? Shut up, baby. I know it. I am a big old nerd. What do you do on your stream? Oh, we go through and we pretend to be sock people. I don't remember which. Hold on. What was that song last? Let me see. Oh no, that was from Heartbound, the video game, because they opened the soundtrack up, and I got really tired of working on trying to find DMCA free music. So basically, the music on the stream consists of three sources. One is the Heartbound video game, which is Pirate Software's game, and because basically you can use it with no DMCA as long as you don't use it inside of a video game. You can use it for streaming and stuff. Then one of the other guys who frequents the stream too, Bob, actually had a whole slew of music he had made, and he had it up on GitHub. So cool, brought that down, put that into the mix. And there's another offensive security company called Red Siege that they had made a whole bunch of lo-fi albums, and it's cool stuff like report writing, beacons, things like that. It's all hacker themed, right? So I've got that in the mix too. Tubob actually makes up the vast bulk of the playlist just because he made so many songs. Let me see here. Investigation channel. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So can I see anything else about this? Check log management and the endpoint process. Oh, okay. Hold on. So let's do this because I didn't look very closely at this. So our source IP was the internet, right? It's out on the internet. Destination IP was 127.16.2017. So hold on. Let me get some notes up real fast. Let's do this. Let's take some notes here. So here's our destination IP. Let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll go ahead and get the source IP too. We're less concerned about that one, but we can go check the IP reputation of it in here. So let's go grab this material here. So far, it looks like it's probably going to be malicious. It's matching the IOCs like to the T. Content length was 769. Nice. So now let's go over to log management. Let's see. Let's do destination address. And then for our destination address, we'll go copy this and throw it right in here. You gonna let me search? Destination address. Ah, here we go. Okay, so here we go. We've got something in here. Let's add a source address onto this as well. So source address, let's see if we have a log for this. There you go. Search. Okay, so just the one. So makes it nice and simple in here. So what do we see here? Here's the request. If we blow this out, that's what she said. Then we see simple 1.1. This was a post request though. Could we see the body of the post request? Let's see. These are all just our raw header logs in here. So we don't see the body of it in here, but let's go to the endpoint security. And since this is our destination IP, this is going to be what our internal one is, right? So let's go see if we can find that IP address. Here we go, SharePoint 01. Let's go take a look real quick. So what do we see on this guy? Here's our host information. We got our processes, network activity, terminal history. Let's go take a look at this. You know what? I'm an idiot too. I forgot. Let's see. Right, said Fred. What's up, dude? Welcome in. I forgot to look at something else. So time correlation is very important whenever you're doing these kind of investigations. So hang on. I'm going to go back real quick. Let's look at investigation channel and this one. So this event occurred. Can I just copy all this out? Hang on. I don't know how this is going to paste over into Notepad. Yeah, it's going to paste like dog doo-doo. Actually, yeah, it's okay. Cool, we can use that. This will help us keep everything straight. So we need to go look for that stuff around. Let's go get the destination IP address again, and let's go pull that up in the log manager. No, not the log manager. Where is it? Endpoint security. Let's pull up SharePoint. And so what we want to do is we want to start looking for events that occurred just after this. So this happened July 22nd at 1:07 p.m. So we want to start looking at probably 1:06 p.m. and beyond. I like to go like 1 minute back in history. So first thing let's do is let's look at the terminal history in here. And we see stuff happening here at 13:07 and 24 seconds. Now, can, by show of hands, anybody tell me if this is malicious? Actually, I show of hands. Like, how the hell is that going to work? If you think it's malicious, you're right. It is malicious. I mean, it's just So Mesh, if it's coming through, the only people that ever use encoded payloads like this, it's 99.9% of the time going to be malicious. Looks super safe to me. You're all fired. You're all fired. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up in Saba Chef. Let's go decode it real quick. And what would be really funny is if this actually comes up as like regular base 64. Yeah, here we go. Now, you can also tell this is not true PowerShell base 64 because you actually have to change the encoding for this because I believe it uses UTF-8 instead of UTF-16 on Windows. And so you can't just do a straight base 64 decode on this. You actually have to change the encoding usually and then go decode it. But that's fine. So let's see what happens here. Namespace, diagnostics, page load. Let's see. System configuration, machine key selection. Yep. Get method. Get the application. Hold on. I know this is probably pretty tiny. Can I scooch this over? Hang on. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. That is what he said. There we go. So they mentioned here in the... I closed it. Damn it. Anyway, in the CVE notice, they mentioned that one of the things they go for is the machine key. They do usually encode, communicate with encoded messages. However, Mesh, what we're looking at here is we're looking at command line logs on this machine. Hey, spoiler, what's up, dude? The command line logs means somebody spawned command.exe or PowerShell. They ran this. They also ran it with no profile, and they ran it in a hidden window, meaning it's going to load without any of the default protections in there, and it's going to load in the background where the user can't see it. Yeah. No, you're good, man. So usually the machines do, I'm actually answering your question. Usually the machines do talk in some kind of encoded message, encoding method, and base 64 is very common. However, in this context, base 64 is hella sus. Because the only people that go run a base 64 encoded PowerShell script like this are usually guys like me breaking into systems. So this is hella sus right here. And we can go through and we can decode it just like this. And we can see what they're doing with this. And it looks like what they're doing here is they're doing a get type from SY. SY is the System Reflection Assembly Loader. Let me see. Oh, my ASP is so rusty. But one thing I can notice, though, is that they're getting the machine keys, right? So they do get type from System Web Configuration Machine Key, which is one of the IOCs that they mentioned in the article. Let's see. This is another, whatever this is. Where's MKT? That's that. Get method. Response right. Validation key plus CG, which is this. Validation. Yeah. I would want to see the parent and the user. That's true too. Typically in a normal, so this is a SOC simulator that we're messing with, mesh called, it's part of the Let's Defend platform. So over on Let's Defend, they've got their SOC simulator. So we're just messing around with it tonight. I didn't even know they had this until Falcon, who's one of their community outreach guys, messaged me and gave me some keys for it. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go take a list. But you're right, that's a very good point. Typically what you would see in these command line logs is you'd also see a copy of the process tree. Who called and from where. Only thing we're given right now is the event time and what was actually called in here. So we see very hella sus PowerShell, which looks like this. And in fact, I'm going to take the cheap way out. And I'm going to go ask Grok real fast. So this dumps the ASP.NET machine key, which is what I figured it was doing, back out to it. So the response right here is going to take that validation key, drop it back into the machine. And that was one of the IOCs we got. So that one is hella sus. So now let's, for good measure, let's go see what they did. So that was at 7 minutes and 24 seconds. 3 seconds later, at 27 seconds, we see csc.exe, Windows temp payload.exe to payload.cs. Now, what is the csc.exe? That one I don't recall offhand. Yeah, payload.c, totes normal. Totes normal. That is a C# compiler for .NET. Yeah, that would explain why I didn't recognize it. Yeah, so what they did here is, looks like they ran the C# compiler, told it to dump payload.exe, and the input was payload.c# in here. So they dump the machine keys, then they're writing their payload, and then what do they come through and do here? Let me take this over to Le Notepad real quick and see if we can break this out a little bit. So what they're doing is they're running command.exe, and then from in here, they're running echo format. They're doing a particular CLS ID, which I don't know what that is. Let's see what that one is. That's an ActiveX controller. Microsoft's HTML HTTP view controller. And so they're sending a parameter with the command redirect button, value of test, and then URL is, look at that. So it's going right back over to our payload.exe. So this was our source address right here, remember? That was the source that reached out to us. Let's verify real quick. Source address 107.191.58.76. Bam. So it's calling back to get a payload now. Yep. So that was this one right here. And then this one's probably going to be basically go run it. Let's see. System web configuration, machine keys, get application config. So yeah, this machine's totes compromised right now. So contain. Yes, change. I've contained it. Now let's go back over to the case manager. Start playbook. Yep. Malicious. All right, what type of attack? So which of the following attack vectors in the malicious traffic you have detected as a result of your investigation? We detected a, what would this be? Command injection? What was the CVE for this one? Let me go double check it real quick. I believe, now undo. No, I nuked the notes because I'm a freaking noob. Oh, no, there it is. I was just an idiot. Hang on. Can't type. You're thinking bypass an RCE? Okay. Well, it's definitely going to be an RCE. Hold on, let's go see what the options are, because I accidentally closed it because I am a goober. Let's see. All right, it is malicious, definitely. Let's see. SQL injection. It's not a SQL injection. It could possibly be an LFI or an RFI. I don't think it's a command injection. We don't have the post body, unfortunately. If we had the post... Actually, hold on. Can I do this? Duplicate? Hey, here we go. All right. Because from the log management here, we looked at... no, destination address was this. Let's go pull this back up. I'm doing this super noob mode, so I apologize. Let's see. So we only have the one log in here. It takes place at the correct time. We don't have a copy of the post request, so we can't exactly see what it's doing in here. But it matches the IOCs, and then we have indicators on the machine that say, hey, by the way, somebody ran this, they dumped the machine keys, which is a known tactic on this type of compromise, and then they downloaded and compiled payload.exe on the system. Let's see. Would this be an other? Hang on, let me read the article again here. Let's see. So 208 vulnerabilities tracked as these CVEs have been discovered in on-prem SharePoints. The server is vulnerable. Let's see. All it says is together, these vulnerabilities could allow an unauthorized user to execute remote code execution on the system. These vulnerabilities are related to earlier sets of CVEs called Tool Shell, which Tool Shell was dropping on the machine. So I'm guessing probably command injection. Leaning towards other. I'm kind of leaning towards other also. Let me see if I can find another article that discussed it. Let's look at NIST and see what NIST says. Deserialization of untrusted data. Okay, so it's a deserialization attack. That makes a lot more sense. Why it's all in the post body. So, would deserialization fall under command injection? Not necessarily. So typically when I think of command injection, what I'm thinking about here is that I send something that basically looks like, you know, hey, I'm going to go to, undo that. Let me see. Let's say I'm going to like /name, right? And then I'm going to send my little query string in here. And I want to get the name of a cat, right? In here. And then what it does is it runs like, you know, cat underscore name dot py, right? So let's say maybe it runs this through like bash in here. And then so if I come in and I put something else under cat here, then I could do potentially a command injection where I could instead say something like, you know, cat, let's see, what would I want to do here? Like semicolon, who am I? Just as a really basic example. Now, this would probably be like a blind injection in here, but you've taken this, and now this whole section right here gets injected up into where this spot would be. So now we'd have this command ending and then running who am I and probably returning the output from it. Yes, do remember everybody in chat is a Fed. Yes. Congratulations if you didn't know that and you just joined in the chat for the first time tonight. 1, awesome to see you. 2, you're a Fed now. That's the way it works. So remember the chat rules. Don't hack the stream. Don't hack your fellow viewers. Everybody in chat illegal, see the previous rule. Yes, yes, everyone in chat, please report to the Pentagon on Monday for orientation. Yeah, that's right, Potion. You didn't ask for the Fed life. The Fed life chose you. I'm gonna say command injection for this one. CheckFit is a planned test. Penetration tests are attack simulation products can trigger false positive alarms. Okay, so we did not check that. Let's go look at our threat intel feed in here, and let's search by the source IP address. So our source IP is here, right? So if we come over and we search by, let's just do a free text search and see what comes back. Search, anything? Anything? Bueller? No. What I want to do is, let's see, what was our time for this? Yeah, let's try and narrow this down. Let's look for this exact day, July 22nd, 2025. So we go to July 2025, and let's go around the 21st to the 20th. Yeah, there we go. 21st to 23rd. What was the reputation? Data type, IP address, search data, this. Okay, cool. And this one was associated from OnlyHunt as running this CVE, which is the one we were associated with. So possibly not that, probably not a penetration test. So let's say not planned. So what's the direction of the traffic? It is internet to company network. Check whether the attack was successful. And so in this case, I'm going to read through this, but we kind of already did this. But investigate whether the attack was successful. Detection mechanisms vary according to the attack type. Some tips to help with your investigation, like in command injection attacks, You can understand whether the attack was successful by looking at the command history. We already did that. We decoded the base64 payload, and it was hella sus. For example, for SQL injection attacks, you might look to see, has it run XP command shell since then? So, we did this. Was the attack successful? Yes. Containment. Since it's detected that the device is compromised, the device must be isolated. Go to the endpoint security page and contain the relevant device to help with the request containment button. We already did that. Each institution has a separate containment procedure. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So add artifacts. Oh, dude, what kind of... What do they want for this? We could actually, we have some artifacts. We have a URL address in here because over in CyberChef, was it CyberChef? No, it's not in CyberChef. It was in here. That was their payload URL. This is helpful. I think I'm qualified to apply for that CISO role now. 1, yeah, you probably are. 2, CISO is the most thankless, hardest job in any IT organization. And I know you might be thinking, how could that possibly be? The last time I checked, and I think this number has accelerated, but the average turnover for a CISO in a company is 18 months. And the reason for that is because they are given all of the responsibility and very, very rarely given the authority to actually get stuff done. So they stay just long enough and hoping that they know everything has been jacked up, they can't affect change, and they just try to play this game of hot potato and not be the CISO in the seat whenever the breach happens. So I think that number might have accelerated since then. This was a couple years ago, but yeah, I saw it and it was like 18 months. That means they weren't punished enough. I want to say, I can't confirm this. It may have accelerated up to like 13 months. It's wild. CISO is a thankless, hard, annoying job. And I would never want to do it, ever. Let's see. This is payload URL. Okay, next, cool. Tier 2 escalation should be performed in the following situation. In case where the attack succeeds, when the attacker compromises a device in the inside network, in this case, going from... Hold on. It says when the attacker compromises a device in the internal network. In this case, where the direction of harmful traffic is from inside to inside. Tier 2 escalation is not required in the following cases. In cases where attacks from the internet do not succeed. Well, yeah, we should perform Tier 2 escalation. Analyst notes. Man, you're actually going to make me work. Hang on. Let's go back over to endpoint security and go take another look at the source, or the destination IP. So this is the SharePoint server. Let's see. What else did we have in here? So only thing we looked at was the terminal history. We saw that. There's nothing in the browser history. Network actions came up with that. So let's go see. There was a connection from 127001 before this. I tell you what, does anybody else recognize what this IP address here is? This is a very special IP address that you really only see used in one way on a particular type of system. And I'll give you a hint, they're cloud-hosted systems. If you can't read it, it's 169, nice. 254, 169, nice. 254. Hey, Peaches. She missed me. You're on the right track, Gumby. It's not a Cloudflare IP. So this is called the metadata IP address. Yeah, Peaches. She missed me. She was actually mad at me that when I got home, I showered before she could sniff me. because she wants to vicariously live through all the smells that come in on me whenever I'm gone for a couple days. But anyway, so this is what's called the metadata IP address. This is how machines in things like AWS and GCP or Azure, how they actually talk to the systems in the back end. So, oh, eat me, Rabid. Every dog loves a good sniff. She's my sweetie. Yeah, she was mad at me that she was in the backyard when I got home and I'd already showered when she came in. So she came and smelled me and gave me this look like, you washed off all the smells that I wanted. So this is not necessarily, going back to this metadata IP address, it happened a couple minutes before our logging event, because it happened at 1307. This is at 1303. This is not really indicative of anything malicious. Everything we're seeing here, the time frame's kind of, oh wait, hold on, there's more stuff down here. Oh, I'm an idiot. Should have gone down some more. That's what she said. Let's see. Hold on, what was our source IP address? This one actually has it at a different time though. See that? 107. Yeah. Well, actually, this probably triggered when the machine called back. Remember? They got on, they compiled their payload, right? And then it called back to us to reach payload.exe. That's probably what this was in here. So network activity confirms the callback was successful from what we saw in the terminal history. And then let's go look at the processes on the machine here. Let's see. Let's go back. So we would look for things that happened around 1307 and slightly after. Here we go. All right, so at 1307, there we go. We saw W3WP fire, and there goes our encoded PowerShell payload right there. And that was the one we already previously decoded. So we saw that, and then here. Oh wait, that was the one we just looked at. Here we go. PowerShell. This one. Let me see this one. This one, they were calling csc.exe. And then afterwards with CSC, we saw it compile the backdoor. And then we saw some more PowerShell happening here. What is this command actually doing? Because my knowledge of these particular like system web config machine keys is there. Okay, so that's just another way to dump the ASP.NET machine key config. Yeah. So we've got that. We already got to install them dumping it. And then what did they do afterwards? So after this happened at 1308, let's see, image path, task host W. They may have done something there. Let's see. What is MSDTC? That's the transaction coordinator. Let's see. We saw the SQL server. All these things running as NT Authority system. Ran that. Okay. Anything else afterwards that came up through this? Let's see. Chrome came up. Flag switches begin. I don't know what that switch does. Let me see. Oh, interesting. So it started, but it didn't actually do anything. Okay. That's just a little, So I use Brave? Yeah, exactly. Oh, interesting. So then Notepad launched, and it opened to ctemp notes in here. So then what did they do here? Oh, then they did a dir of it to make sure whatever they did with Notepad actually showed up in there. They ran PowerShell as SharePoint to get the process. They ran Task Manager. So it looks like they're doing post-exploitation reconnaissance at this point. Hold on, this one ran as SharePoint 01 administrator, but then this one ran as NT authority system. Did they do a WMI Privesc? Let's see. Let me copy it. Damn you. Damn you. Copy. That's just the WMI provider host. Okay. Yeah. I had to think about it for a sec. Oh, almost forgot. I finished this a minute ago. Not sponsored by Jocko yet. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like they've got everything going here. Let's see. Analyst notes. Machine got popped, yo. They done took them their ASP.NET machine keys. They dropped some kind of fancy C# and compiled it with csc.exe. Then it did call home to download a payload.exe at what was that address? I'm gonna throw that in there for good measure. There we go. Bing. Their threat intel folks have flagged this for doing this kind of junk in the same time frame. They ain't slick. There we go. Next. Confirm finished playbook. I'm waiting to see if that gets like AI graded. I'm hoping that gets AI graded and they'll be like, here's the stuff you missed. We've completed the playbook. Awesome. All right. I don't know what we get for doing that. It's just fun to run through and think about. So, can I close the alert now? True, positive. Message. Done got popped, sir. Hey, I got something. All right. Nice. Heard Hack the Box was under fire recently. What was the, for what? I hadn't heard about Hack the Box getting it. Try Hack Me has been getting a lot of flack because it looks like they were using the activities that the people on the platform were learning to do and using it to train some kind of AI model. Oh, you were thinking Try Hack Me? Got it.
I can do it. Yay.
All right. Unfortunately, what's the pricing on this? Hang on. For individuals, what is this? Basic. $16.99 a month. It's not bad. I just don't know if I want to bring it up anymore. Let's go back over to practice. Can we do any more of these? Let's go see. What does it mean if it's starred? That's what I want to know. What's the star mean? Oh, that ain't right. Let's go look at that one. CVE 2024 is a 0-day arbitrary file read and checkpoint security gateway. Only thing that went under fire recently was VulnLab when Hack the Box bought it. I didn't know about that. Now, granted, guys, I do some of this stuff on the stream, but I don't really do a ton of this. And the reason is because I like messing around with other stuff. We were recently doing some Kubernetes, we've been working on Hackbot, and honestly, Hackbot has been so far on the back burner because I'm not quite sure where to go with it, because all of the AI agentic stuff has been moving so fast. It feels like by the time I start, it's already behind. So, oh, start of the VIP ones? Can I do it? Hold on, I want to try this. Yeah, I'm in. Is it going to be like, you need to sign up now? No, okay, cool. Just let me do it. All right, fine. I'm going to go do a VIP one. I'm going to be extra VIPy on this. All right, I kind of hate that Notepad supports any kind of emoji like this. They've massacred my boy. Why is this in here? Nobody likes you, Copilot. Yeah. I don't know what the starred ones are. They look interesting, though. Let's go check it out. We'll go see what's happening here. So, here's where we're going. The destination IP address was an internal address, and it came from the internet, right? We've got a post request happening here, and the requested URL was here, and the actual request is here. So, this is what's called a local file inclusion. Or, not really. This is a... Crap, what's the right term? This is a directory traversal. So what they're doing is they're hunting up the file path. It should be reading some expected file, but they're not sanitizing the input. And so it'll accept all this arbitrary stuff. Dude, I don't actually keep up with too many CVEs, though. Disclosure, this is just the one that I've looked at. I take it back. On Wednesday night, we do the news stream, and we'll go through like some of the emerging hacker news for the week. Interesting stories. If you've got the time, the very last one, it's at I forget, maybe the last 20 minutes of last Wednesday's stream. We covered what is probably the most hilarious story I feel like I've covered on the stream, just for the pure humor of it. And it was these guys who basically built two computers out of scraps because they had a computer recycling program that the prisoners were running. They built computers from scrap, plugged them into the prison network, and had them hidden, and were doing all sorts of shenanigans with them. It was an awesome read. I loved everything about that. What's even funnier is how they got caught. So... if you've got time, go check out the last 20 minutes of last Wednesday's news stream. It's real easy over on YouTube also. If you just, like, if that's like your thing, you just want to check those out. Let's see, fits here. Just go over to the live section, and then they're all, I just tag them all. They've all got the news thing in there. So it makes it real easy to figure out, okay, that was the news stream. Boom, I want to go check that one out. Did they hide it behind a poster? No, as hilarious as that would be, they hid it up in the false ceiling, you know, above the sound tiles. Oh, man, I keep reaching for my Jocko and I'm out. Let's see. Yeah, so this one from the 22nd, just go check out the last 20 minutes of it. It's hilarious. I loved that story. All right, let's see. And also, it highlighted a huge number of IT failures that they had in the prison system. So that made it extra funny as well. All right, so let's go take a look at this one. Let's start with, what do we got here? We got our fields here. So let's narrow this guy down. Let's look at destination IP, meow. So destination address, meow. And then source IP address, right, meow. There we go. Okay, so we've got two in here. Let's look at what time these were correlated at. So June 6, 2024 at 3:12 p.m. All right, we've got two that happened in here. We had one at 3:12 and one at 3:15. So let's start with the 3:12 one first. And so from this, we see destination port 4433, and we see clients, MyCRL. You know what? One thing we didn't do is, let's go pull up the CVE for this one real quick. I did it again. Don't save. I wanted to pull it up over here. Critical 0-day vulnerability. Let's see. So this has been discovered and patched in a number of checkpoint products. The vulnerability has a CVSS score of 8.6, and there's a proof of concept in the wild. Wow, you are just about useless. Thank you. Let's look at the checkpoint advisory. Maybe it'll have some better data. It's amazing the lengths that prisoners will go through to get mini-phone inside, but they're making server rooms under their noses. I know, right? Is this going to load up? I mean, 2024 is almost ancient history on the internet, so... Alright, hang on. Let's go look at the actual NIST one. They don't have any IOCs, although we already have an IOC right here, right? This... That's even worse. That's even worse. Hang on. The scrolling's a bit weird because there's an outer window and an inner window. So this one's Etsy password. For some reason, they read the Etsy shadow before reading the Etsy password. Typically, you read this one first because this is world readable. There's nothing sensitive really in it except the usernames. Because this was at 312 and yeah, 312 and 315. Hold on. Go back. I want this one. 312, 315, yeah. So at 315, oh no, 315 is something different. They did a post request. And the request is showing up as blank in here. So we don't know what happened there. This one's weird. No event time registered. Hold on, but there's the time right there. 314. This one was at 312. Okay. So yeah, they read the Etsy shadow. And then at 3... Oh, I see. 314. So yeah, they did read the Etsy password first and then the Etsy shadow. Is it still lagging? It looks like it's still up. Let's see. No, it looks like it's still up. Okay. Good. Good. Well, after the... I don't know what happens, but there are some times when I start the stream up and everything just gets... Packet drops to hell and back, and I have to restart the stream to get it going. No idea what causes it. So it looks like they read the Etsy shadow and Etsy password. So now, let's go look here. Let's see, that's for the playbooks. Let's go look at the source IP address. Or, I'm sorry, the destination IP. Let's go see what system this is. Which it should show up as some kind of a firewall or something. Yeah. Checkpoint Spark Gateway. We have a bunch of processes. Let's look at the terminal history first. Anything around our time. Interesting. It says there's one event, but nothing's showing up. Odd. Network actions. Let's see. This was around June 6th at 3:12 p.m. So that would be 1312. And then we see the IP address was this 203 address. So we do see those in here. Oh no. We see it making some more connections to internal hosts in here. And that was really close by. So that's something we need to note. So let's take a note of this real quick. Hold on, which one was this? This was 6812. Let's see, this happened at 3:12. We don't know the exact second it happened, but it's pretty close. So there's stuff happening in here. Let's make a note of this. Network traffic may be pivoting. Let me clear this up a bit. Because all these extra line breaks are going to drive me bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
And I bet Lois wrote the book on man-pleasing. It's too bad Loretto doesn't allow white literature in our household. All right, let's see. Browser history? Nothing in there either. Yeah, we're kind of just doing a little bit of blue team ops tonight, Bobby. We're checking out Let's Defend, and I just wanted to see what you could do on the free tier. And the free tier is going through the sock simulator. And it's actually not too bad. It's pretty decent. So let's see, what did we have happen around this time? So they dumped Etsy Shadow just after this. So we're looking for stuff that happened around, if this is 24-hour format, let's see. Nothing really in here. So no command execution. That looks like they may have just dumped. It doesn't look like they pivoted to anything else. Looks like they dumped Etsy Shadow and Etsy Password. Which is not a terrible thing, especially if you're... Etsy Shadow is only useful if you're using weak passwords. Because the hashing algorithm is strong. And then you still have to go crack that algorithm offline. It's a hell of a lot slower than something like an NTLM hash you'd get out of a Windows network. Oh, my homies love Let's Defend. It looks really cool. I was going to try and show a couple. I thought maybe they had some of the free learning modules in there that we could go do. But it looks like on the free tier, this is all you can do. So typically, unless I've got a good relationship with them and I know exactly what I can go show off on the stream, I'll do it. So I was like, yeah, we're going to play Sock Simulator. I see people playing like Cornfield Farm Simulator. I was like, why can't we do Sock Simulator? Dear God, Bobby. Dang it, Bobby, you just reminded me. Also, first off, thank you for the 23 gifted subs. You are awesome. Again. But also, I need to put in a thing right there. So like whenever you start gifting subs, it's gonna say something like new threat detected, so-and-so initial access broker, something like that. I've been meaning to do that. Damn it. Because usually we say, like, when you get a sub, you popped a shell, right? Dude, Bobby's hilarious. One time he just popped in and just was like, here you go, guys. Boop. Okay, I'm gone. Bye. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate it, man. I'll see if I've got any good videos, by the way. I forgot to tell you of Agent Zero during the race. And if I do, I'll go pull one up. Actually, dang it. I need to go see if I can get it. There was one where somebody got a good video of him doing a donut at the start of the race. First lap, first turn, he hits a mudslick and does like a full donut. Hey, look, I'm American. I'll use my credit card. Damn, that's old. Old South Park reference. Potion, I don't think you're old enough to know that South Park reference. I'm pretty sure that South Park reference was from when I was in high school. And I graduated in 2002. It's been a minute. Let's see here. So no commands ran. Yeah, we've got a lot of like very, very generic stuff in here. Now, granted, this exploit was just a file read also. So, what is this? Can we search emails? Ooh. Ew, cool. Okay, well, let's see what we can find those. What's our threat intel tell us about this IP address? Let's see. Search filters. Date range. When was this? This was June 6, 2024. So let's go to June. How am I doing it the hard way? June 2024. And it's around June 6. There you go. And then let's go by IP address, search. Yep, and there they are, associated with the CVE we were talking about. Boop. Okay. So we pretty well got this one in the bag. What is this, real quick? Ooh, a Windows or a Linux sandbox. Use the Linux lab environment to analyze Linux-based malware. Okay, that's pretty sick. But let's go back over to the case manager. I think we can successfully call this one good. Start the playbook. Hey, Killa. Happy Sunday, man. You're not going to let me run the playbook? Come on. Come on. Don't do this. Not like this. Can I only do like one a day? Oh, wait, didn't I? Oh, I don't think I opened the case yet. Hang on. Investigation channel. Create case. There we go. That's what I need to do. All right, so now I can go to now I can start the playbook for this one. Start playbook. Collect data. Inspect HTTP traffic. It was malicious. It was a... It's not technically an LFI or an RFI. It could as an IDOR. That's an insecure direct object reference, but usually you would call this a path traversal. What happened if they just clear the system events and command logs? Funny enough, Potion, a lot of times whenever that happens, it gets logged as an event to the sim. So most of the times what's happening here is these machines are actually not keeping their system logs. They're shipping them to another system, right? And that's for good reason, for just that kind of situation. So let's say we've got our user computer right here, and it's connected over to some kind of a AD domain or something, right? It's connected up here. Well, part of those you'll have is some kind of a SIM, Security Information and Event Manager, right? So all the machines over here should be shipping their logs over to the SIM, right? Now, the SIM is not necessarily going to keep every single log. It will probably do some kind of a normalization or a triage of it and keep it. They might keep all the logs for like 30 days. Holy crap, Bobby. You set off a level 6 hype train all by yourself, dude. Sorry, got distracted. But what they'll do is a lot of times they'll take chunks of events and they'll kind of compress them into these meta events where it's like, hey, we noticed this pattern of activity happening, and not necessarily keep everything. Or over on the endpoint side, they will have it tuned to where certain events that they have detections for in the sim get forwarded off to it. So clearing the event logs actually would then create another event to come down into the sim saying, hey, by the way, the event log just got wiped. And I actually had that happen for the brief stint I did as a security analyst. We had to get onto this one guy in the IT team because he kept messing with stuff. And then after we got onto him, I got an alert saying, hey, by the way, his computer wiped his event logs. Another tornado watch, Gumby? Please don't be in my area, man. My house already got beat to shit. What happens if they just spam the logs afterwards and it looks like a flood to maybe fill up the space? Well, you're going to have the same thing kind of happen in here, Potion, where... And I'm saying that's not necessarily a bad tactic to take. One thing you could do is like you could let something benign happen and you break up whatever you're going to do maliciously into smaller chunks. So then you've got more stuff happening here. You sit and you wait for a long time, let those event logs fill up, and then you do one other small thing. You take the low and slow approach. You could also do that as well. Hang on one sec, guys. Gumby, where was that tornado watch issued? Yes, the ring cam just went off because a car drove by. Oh, it's in Kansas? Dude.
It's Kansas. They're supposed to have tornado watches.
Yes, stay safe though, guys. The storm here was crazy. I felt really bad that I wasn't at home and Sock was here all alone. So that made me sad. There's one to the west of me. That doesn't surprise me. That's the Flat Plains area of Texas. Anyway, so... All right, so Potion then followed up. He said, I mean, execute them all at once like spam so it runs up disk space. It doesn't... That's the purpose of the sim here. It doesn't matter. And also, one of the things you're going to be looking at is what's the level of logs that you're ingesting, right? So if you have been running this for a while and you know that you've got like a nice baseline, like, hey, by the way, we usually ingest logs at this rate, right? Sometimes it kind of peaks up there. And then all of a sudden, if I see your log volume just go whoop, that's going to definitely be an indicator. So yeah, there's all good thoughts, but it's also things that defenders have had to deal with before. And this is how they're going to respond to it. If they all of a sudden start seeing their log volume skyrocket, they're going to know something's up. All right. I don't know if this would be considered... I'm going to say other. It's an other. This was not planned. This was from Internet to Company Network. And was the attack successful? Yes, it was. Containment. Since it's detected that the device is compromised, the device must be isolated in order to restrict the attacker. Go to the endpoint security page and request containment. Okay, fine. Oh wait, that was the old one. Hang on. Let me get the IP address again. We need to go contain it. Even though it makes no sense to contain your SharePoint thing, here, just rotate the password. Yeah, contain. All right, value. What value do we want to put in here? It accessed. What do we have in here? We could put an IP address. Let's go ahead and throw the IP address in here. So IP address, this is the attacker IP. Is there anything better to put in here? We could put... We only have URL, email, sender, IP address, and hash. But this was sent as part of a post request. So it's not in the URL. All right, fine. We're just going to do the attacker IP. Ooh. That's a big area. Hang on. Let me bring this up just in case anybody in the area is watching it. Hang on. Let's see. This is from our good bro, Legumby. Here we go. So this is the current area right now. So actually, this goes pretty far down because I'm down here in Dallas. This is going all the way down into Wichita Falls, so it's well within Texas in here. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Springfield. In fact, it looked like they got like 25% of the United States right there. Ooh. You get the coolest maps from doing this stuff, Gumby. I was always told, identify, quarantine, disable, then remediate. I mean, yeah, you could do that too. Honestly, though, if all they have gotten is the Etsy shadow and Etsy password, and you don't have good... If you got poor password practices, let's say that, then yeah, you might want to... Actually, containing it wouldn't even be useful, really. Okay, I take it back. There's two ways that this... There's a couple ways this could happen, right? Let me clear this out. So if you have... So how are your... Let me clear this out. Let's see. How are your passwords, right? It's your passwords are poor, right? And also, let's say, let's say password reuse, right? If reuse is high, right? then probably what should be the action that you take here? Let me do that again. Action. So the action you might want to take there is probably just turn everything off. Just turn it all off because you fail at security. However, if your passwords are poor, but your reuse, if your passwords are poor and your reuse is very low, then your better option is just rotate. Because what are they going to get from that Etsy shadow file? They're going to get the local user passwords. So doing a rotation makes more sense. You probably do want to go ahead and quarantine. Quarantine. Shut up. I know it's spelled wrong. Quarantine. There we go. Hey, Ranch, what's up, man? Doing well, man. It's a good Sunday. Yeah. So it depends on a couple different reasons on like why you might want to quarantine. If your passwords are poor, now let's look at another scenario. Let's say your passwords are great, right? You actually use password management systems and you use them effectively, and then let's say like your reuse is 0, then your action here would probably be don't quarantine, just rotate. Rotate out of an abundance of caution, but don't quarantine the box. Especially if you detect it quickly, because the chances of them being able to crack a great password and use it to, let's say, SSH into that system are pretty low. It's pretty low. So it really just comes down to it. Having a set of guidelines is important, but you also don't want the guidelines to be so rigid that they're going to do business impact. For example, what if this machine was didn't was the only one you had? Let's say you didn't have failovers in there. Then, okay, cool. You just took the checkpoint machine down. You just took down the VPN for the entire company or the only company firewall, right? So there's a lot of stuff that has to get weighed in there. As a typical SOC analyst, you're probably not going to have to deal with those things, at least not without guidance from somebody who's already been there. The amount of terrible passwords I used to see on sticky notes. Oh, dude, I believe it, man. I 100% believe that. My favorite thing to do was whenever somebody left their computer unlocked in the office was I'd go open Notepad, leave them a little note saying I was there, and then lock their machine for them. And I'd always know exactly when they went and unlocked unlocked their computer, because I'd hear from across the office, "Damn it, Blaise!" Another favorite thing I would like to do is on their mouse, right? You just put a clear piece of, like Scotch tape over the mouse, completely breaks it. One of my guys, I went through and, oh yeah, that's way out there. That's towards Abilene. That's so far from me, Gumby. Thankfully, very thankfully. But yeah, one of the guys I used to work with, I put tape over the mouse, and then he had a actual like battery compartment in there. So I opened up the battery compartment and I put little slips that I had ripped off of like a Post-it note in between the battery and the contact. So, and I think there was one other thing I did. I think I maybe unplugged the dongle for it. He was so pissed. Oh, let's see. All right, so what about this now? Do you need a tier 2 escalation? So tier 2 should be performed in the following situations. Case where the attack succeeds, when the attacker compromises a device on the internal network. In the cases where the direction of harmful traffic is from inside to inside. It's not required in the following case. In cases where the attacks were from the internet and do not succeed. Okay, yeah, you probably need escalation. They stole all the shadow passwords. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Confirm. Let's see how I did. What if I get any feedback from this? Close alert. True positive. You beat, son. They know your password is Hunter2. There we go. Forcing people to change their passwords every few months leads to passwords that are iterative. Yeah, exactly. And so that's a good point, Defa. So usually the guidance used to be, yeah, have people rotate their passwords every 90 days. Now it's more along the lines of, hey, we want you to create a long and secure password, and we're going to make you rotate it every 6 months now. And what that will do is, and you be straight up with the folks, hey, this will suck for about 2 days until you get used to the password. And then it will be great because you're not going to have to change it again for 6 months. So it's 2 days of it sucks to 6 months of having a stronger, secure password. My boss left his system unlocked and walked away. He sent a message on Teams that he was buying everybody breakfast the following morning. I did that to my boss too. He left his computer unlocked and I said we're having a pizza party tomorrow. Lock your screens. Hold on. Let me go check this out. Oh, that's awesome. One does not simply leave your screen unlocked. And then it has a countdown too. So it knows when you got pwned. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Hold on. What are some of the other memes? Baby polar bear is disappointed that you didn't lock your screen. That's great. What is it? Just lockyourscreens.com? I wish I had known about that. I would have totally used that. Boyles, what's up, dude? Yes, greeting, fellow feds. How do you do? We're playing Sock Simulator, hats. Actually, it's from the guys over at Let's Defend, and it's a lot of fun, believe it or not. They do have learning paths in here. So let's go take a look at those again real quick here. So they've got a whole bunch for security analyst, incident response, detection engineering, DFIR. That's funny they only have one for sim engineer. I want to look at that one real quick, actually. What do they have? What does this one cover? Let's see. Sim introduction, network security, sim basics, log collection. Let's see. Using Splunk and the Waza. Okay, that's pretty good. SOAR fundamentals. Not bad. I think it's just funny that there's so many for all these other ones, and then sim engineer is just like one. Actually, let's see what they've got for malware analysis in here. By the way, guys, this isn't any kind of a sponsored stream. I don't usually do. I've never done one of those, and I don't know when the first time I ever do will be, but it won't be anytime soon. And this is just, hey, I found out these guys over at Hack the Box now had Let's Defend. I was like, cool, let's go take a look at it. Let's see.
Hack the planet!
Hack the planet! Hang on one sec, I'm catching up on the chat here. Using the Let's Lock Your Screens site was fun, but the CEO was a no-no, even though he was the biggest culprit. Oh, dude. I think that would have been perfect to using on the CEO. Actually, I did it to my CEO, but her office was like right next to me, and so it made sense, just the way the floor plan laid out. But also, she was really cool. Hey, Chris, what's up, dude? Chris, I saw your DM, man. I just haven't had time to read it. I've been on the go all day since 6:30 this morning. Yeah, dude, I'm glad to be back. Except I came home to like my house just beat to shit from hail, dude. We had the worst hailstorm I think I've seen here in... Actually, where this house is, I don't think it's ever been this bad. There was one time, poor Sock, we had just gotten married. And we'd been married, I think, like a year, maybe a year and a half. And she was driving down one of the freeways in Fort Worth, and all of a sudden the traffic just ground to a halt. And her car, along with every other car on the freeway, just this massive line of hail came through and turned her car into a golf ball. Every other car on the highway, too. But, whew.
Malware Bazaar is not as much skill as I wouldn't say. Oh, we'll see what it is here. The Introduction to Malware Bazaar course is designed to provide learners with a comprehensive understanding of what the Malware Bazaar platform, a powerful resource for cybersecurity professionals. Through detailed tutorials and hands-on exercises, you'll learn how to navigate the platform effectively, categorize various types of malware, and utilize the rich data available for research and defense strategies. So what didn't you like about it, Potion? Because I know you haven't done the course here, but what was it about Malware Bazaar? Because I've never actually used Malware Bazaar. I only do homemade, organic, 100% grass-fed beef, bespoke, artisanal malware. Texas weather sounds like hell. It's not usually this bad. It's just, I was sad that it happened while I was out of town. And yeah, Texas weather gets bizarre disclosures. So, for example, we range anywhere from down into the usually high 30s in the winter, and it doesn't stay that cold for that long, but all the way up to the highest I remember seeing is like 107 Fahrenheit in the summer. It's ridiculous. I wish there was a Blaise Bits training platform. Dude, if I could think of anything worthwhile, I might put a training together, but honestly, there are folks out there that are way more dedicated and way more efficient at it. I think I do a good job at teaching and explaining, but course material and development and maintenance is a lot of work. One of the reasons why I like Rostamouse so much is because he is super smart and he is amazing at doing that material. Okay, so there's better malware analysis sites, and it's less of a skill-based to navigate the site. Like Threat Rip and... Hold on, let me go pull these up real quick. Oh, I think you showed me Threat.rip before. Ah. So I think we've looked at some samples on here. Did I not get it right? Hang on. Yeah, just Threat.rip. Oh, it'd help if I spelled it right. There's... Oh, God, that would be funny. There's a typo squat waiting to happen. Yeah, I remember you showing this because you showed us a malware sample. I think you linked to it one time. Let's see. Search. What do we got in the search here? Verdict malware. I want to see what just comes up. If you had a training platform, you could call the graduates of the program/roadmap the Blaise Bits crew, or BBC for short. I actually already have a BBC. My buddy Derek. He's my best black compadre. And now, I'm going to go clip that so I can send it to him. Because he's probably going to die laughing. And so I'm probably going to text his wife first and be like, hey, make sure your life insurance is up to date. And she's going to ask why. And I'm going to say, because I'm going to send something to Derek. Go look at the feed. All right, let's take a look at it. Ooh, donut loaders. I do like a good donut. Hang on. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, I had to double check and make sure I remembered some of the details about Donut. But basically what it does is it generates position-independent shellcode to load and execute .NET assemblies. Yeah. Yeah. My ex-wife loved BBC, but then again, she grew up in England. It's such an unfortunate acronym. Oh. Oh, you guys. Damn it, Chris, do you see what you started? I wish I could come up with custom titles, Bobby, because you definitely get initial access broker. You know what, GoPro? I keep thinking to get Turbo also. By the way, if anybody doesn't know how Turbo works, is basically it's a cool middle in between being subscribed to somebody and on Twitch and avoiding ads. But the cool thing about Turbo is it's ad free across the entire platform. So anybody, so if you watch a lot of different streamers, it makes better sense to get Turbo rather than subscribing to a bunch of different streamers. Unless you just want to go support them. And pretty much everything that comes in, BlaiseBits has its own bank account, and I just use it for getting stuff for the stream, paying for API access or the streaming computer. So this setup is currently on a dedicated streaming computer, and what you're seeing right here is from my desktop. So my desktop streams a video signal to it, and then it handles multi-streaming out to Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. Yeah, and that's the cool part, GoPro. Yeah, is that with Turbo it removes the ads, but the streamer still gets paid based on whatever the ad revenue would be. So it's a pretty good idea if you like watching lots of different streamers, which I do. So I probably should go get that. Anyway, so yeah, hold on here. If y'all want some fun threat intel stuff on what's happening, go check that out. I could see just having this up and looking at it. Like this one right here, these are fun. Like 100 out of 100. Yeah, this is a donut loader. Let me see what this is doing here. What do we get from this? Let's see. What's the metadata from this? I want to see. Can I see the content? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, don't you know? That's a malware right there, don't you know? Anything that's using bytes like this, 99% chance that's going to be PowerShell malware. And in this case, it identified it as Le Donut Loader. Let's see. What do I have little bells up here for? Oh, new updates. Okay. Let's see. Let's go do another one. This is kind of fun. All right, practice. Monitoring. What do we see here? I think the two that we did were both starred. Let me see. Case management. What are our closed ones? I don't know if they were. It actually doesn't show me anymore. Hold on. Log management. No. Monitoring. Closed alerts. Here we go. Yeah, so both those were starred ones. Let's look at a non-starred one, because I'm curious about what it's going to come up with. Ooh, Luma Stealer. DLL sideloading via ClickFix. All right. Let's go take ownership of this one. Let's see. So what do we got here? Oh, good. This goes to an email address. windowsupdate.site. Nice. And it went to Dylan at letsdefend.io. Nice. Email subscription. Upgrade your system to Windows 11 Pro for free.
Turning it off and on again.
I want to say, actually, Potion, in a previous iteration of Let's Defend, or maybe it was, I think it was probably Try Hack Me Sock Simulator. I think we actually did use the credentials in, I think I messed with that maybe a year ago when they first launched it, before Try Hack Me lost their minds. And we went through and actually did, I think we saw, I want to say the CEO's password in like one of the logs. It got, like, I think it got exfiltrated in clear text.
And I think we logged into the CEO's machine and remotely shut it down. If I watch all your patch streams, do I obtain a beard like yours? Dude, the only way I got it was by having a second child and working too much and not sleeping enough. So if you really want to know, that might be the key to it. Have at least 2 children and only sleep 3 to 4 hours a week so you forget to shave. And then you can see what happens. I'm down. Oh. Honestly, Honey Badger's the only reason why I grew the beard out. So he was born, and then I basically started running the pen test team I was working on. And when that happened, I was doing all the pre-sales, all the scoping, all the assigning of tasks. And when that happened, I didn't have good vision. There wasn't a lot of support from the senior leadership in the terms of, I didn't know how the team was doing. Like, was I going to make payroll for everybody? So I never turned down any work, any pen test that came in. I scoped it. And if it came in and nobody else was available to work on it, I worked on it. So there was a time I was doing like 3 pen tests at once. It was a nightmare. And then my beard, which was really short in the past, started growing out. And then Honey Badger, when he was just a cute little bun, reached up one day and started tugging on it and playing with it like it was the funniest thing ever. And then I just stopped shaving it after that. It had gotten kind of long. I was getting ready to cut it short. And after he started playing with it, it was like, good. Earn the beard by doing all the TCM security pen test trainings, then a Python boot camp on Udemy, then the Maldev Academy. That might drive you insane enough to get the beard. There you go. All right, let's see what we've got here. Let's do another one of these. Let's clear out our notes here. This is actually surprisingly chill. I like this. All right. Let me bring this over a little bit. All right. So they're saying it was downloading a Luma Stealer. All right. So first thing we want to do, let's go check the SMTP address. Now, chances are this is not malicious, but let's go check the threat intel on it real quick. So what was our date range in here? March 13, 2025. So let's go to March 13 to 14. In fact, let's go 12 to 14. And then we'll go by IP address, search. Yeah, okay. So we've got confirmation from threat intel. Let's actually take some proper notes here. Okay. Threat feed shows source SMTP server sending a Luma Stealer. All right, we'll take some little notes in here too. All right, so what else can we check in here? We can actually go check the emails that are being sent for it. So we have a source and destination email address, and we've got email security right here. So what we can search for is, let's see, sender was here, and recipient is Dylan. And then we want to search in the range of 2025 March. We're just working through the queue. Like we're clearing up the entire back queue right here. Let's search for March 13th. 13. Oh, that needs to go now. 2020. Now. 2020. You bastard. 2025 March 13th. Sent it on a Thursday. Search. Did it come back? Sender, recipient. Yeah, we got that in there. Search. I don't care about the action. I just want to know. Okay, can I just delete that out of there? Alright, you're killing me, Smalls. Hold on, let me go back over to it. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's just search. We'll do like a raw text search against this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this fired right there. Boom. So let's analyze this real quick. Upgrade your system to Windows 11 Pro for free. An easy and secure way to upgrade to a new version of Windows without downloads or complicated installations. Okay, so they're offering something, they're removing friction. Follow the easy steps to below. And then they're also providing a time that it's going to have to go through. And they have it in there like 3 times. Update now, update now, update now. Okay, so they've got a sense of urgency in here. They got all the other stuff. If you shave it, they won't know who you are. Well, occasionally someone on stream always asks, and I'm sure you've seen it, Gumby, but they always ask like, hey, how much to shave the beard? And the current price is currently 4 years' salary. And if you're so inclined for that, do it now, because it's going to be 5 years' salary and not too long, because that's how long the beard's been growing. What's the price? I told you, 4 years' salary. If it's one of those things like, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Yeah, exactly, Killa. It's 4 years' salary or 2 RAM sticks. Let's see. Can I delete this email out of his inbox? What does that do? Are you sure you want to delete it? No, hold on. I want to see. Windows update.site. Yeah, let's click on this. Let's see what happens. Ah, nothing happened. Sad. Oh no, I lost it. So this was allowed. Do I want to go through and delete it? Well, actually, hold on. Let's go back to threat intel, because we know what the site is, right? So let's come over here. Let's search for Windows update.site. Will it let us do that? Do we need to select a date range? Let's see, 2024. Ah, here we go. Yeah, so that site was associated to it. So let's go grab that, copy. All right, let's see. Email linked to domain. Let's see. Well, let's make a note here. Threat feed shows email linked to domain serving Luma Stealer. We'll make a note here. Okay, so those are pretty good things. So now what we want to do is we need to go figure out where Dylan is actually located at. Like, did he get compromised? So let's go look at... Actually, hold on. You know what? I should have done it over here. Does this give us like any other information about Dylan? It does not. So let's go to endpoint security. Can we find Dylan's machine? Looks like Dylan's machine. I'm gonna need your credit card information to make that payment, or a bank account login. I actually just had to deal with that with my mom. I had to deal with some fraud stuff on her account. Ugh, that was a pain. Hey, Carson, what's up, dude? Happy Sunday, man. All right, what's going on over here at Mr. Carson's thing? So, all of this stuff, this alert happened March 13th, 2025. So, first thing I want to go do is let's go look at the terminal history. Let's see. And the time of this was at 9:44 a.m. However, we see stuff happening around 11 o'clock. Oh, Dylan. Oh, Dylan. Okay, let's back up a bit here, in case you're wondering why I'm face palming on this so bad. So here's the thing. The rule came up with DLL sideloading via click fix phishing. So typically what this does is, we saw the fake email that came in, right? And yeah, Carson, it's been a long time. I'm glad to see you in, dude. So in a click fix scam, what they'll do is they'll try to usually redirect you to some site, right? And when that site comes in, it will say, oh, hey, by the way, Cloudflare's blocking you. if you'd like to get unblocked, you can copy and paste this command into PowerShell on your machine. You see where I'm going with this, right? So, what was the command that just came up here? So, PowerShell command mshta.exe from overcoatpassby.shop malloy.mp4 replace all this stuff in here. So yeah, this is looking pretty sus, right? In here. So this is another thing we need to go check out. So we got to go check out this one right here. So potentially what it's doing is it's actually passing this fake MP4 over to MSHTA right here. Yeah, downloads and executes a malicious HTA file, which is malloy.mp4 via mshta.exe. Now, yeah, so I had actually not seen this. These extra just right curly brackets. Those are just line, I guess they're just line breaks in here. I hadn't seen this. So what they're doing is they're passing this URL over to it, right? So yeah, he definitely fell for this. He took the bait. Let's see. Dylan's machine shows executing let's see. HTA file hosted at boom. No, that's not what I wanted. I want just the URL for it. But then we got to see what happens after this thing executes. Or did he just try to do it like 3 times because he's, you know, special? Let's see, what's the next thing that happens after that? So then it actually executes it here. And then after that, he ran it again. So he ran it twice. Way to go, Dylan. Okay, so this happened here. Let's make a time note of this. So then what happens after he does this? So he got the email way earlier in the day, right? He got it at 9:44 a.m. He actually executed this at like 23:26. So now what we want to do is, let's look at his browser history. We see in the browser history at 23:26, he went to the site. Oh, Dylan. Oh, Dylan. Why would you do this? So now let's go to the time here, and can we filter this? Time event, Do we see anything here? Hold on. When did he hit that? He hit it at 23:26 on the 13th. So at 23:28, he opens Chrome. Well, what is this doing? Hold on. Let me close this up. So here on services, we see some more Chrome. We see the PowerShell execute at 23:26 and 19 here. Yep, so there's the actual execution of it. So everything after that is the stuff we're really interested in. This is a practice environment like a sim or like an EDR. Oh, this is like a kind of like this is like SOC Simulator, Defus. It's over on Let's Defend. It's the only thing they've got up for free. And my buddy sent Falcon over at Hack the Box, who's one of their community guys, sent over a bunch of keys for it. So I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even know about the platform. So let's go do this. By the way, guys, I gave away 5 of the keys on the first drawing. I still got your names up. I'm sorry I haven't DM'd you yet. I will do that after the stream here. I'm just going to DM you directly on Twitch. But what will actually, if I know you're in Discord, I'll DM you on Discord. So, and Gumby, yeah, I'll let you invoke mod privileges. I'll get you one. But I still have 4 more to give away. So maybe we'll do that later tonight. But what we're doing is we're just going through and seeing like, okay, cool. How's the actual SOC simulator work? This thing you can actually go play for free. So, hell, people play truck driving simulator. I was like, why can't we play sock simulator? Potion, I'm doing that for your own good. I'm doing that for your own good. All right, let's see. What else do we got going on Dylan's computer here? So at 23, 26, and 19 is when it fired, and then 23, 26, 32, which is enough time for him to copy and paste it. Let's see, what did it fire? So he ran the MSHTA again, and then what do we got happening here? It ran a Chrome process. Can't really tell if that was anything crazy. MSHTA fired. We do have a file hash here. Actually, is this the file hash for MSHTA? Let's see. Actually, here's the command line. We just see the MSHTA running. And then after that, we see services, fire, Amazon agent. Okay. So what else happened after this? We're still looking for it. That was a fire remix. I just didn't want you to run afoul of anything on the automated, like, Twitch, chat tracker, dude. Let's see. Explorer.exe was doing stuff here. What is Explorer doing? Running more of the PowerShell. Oh, you know what? The times are all backwards. No wonder why this looks so messed up. Wait, are they backwards? Hang on. 19, yeah, these are all backwards here. Hold on, let me do this. So this was at 23, 26, 19. Hold on, let me go back over to processes in here. Is that all it's going to show? Oh, no, there's it. It finally went down to it. Let me go back a page. 23, 26, 19 is where we saw it. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of it. All right. So we saw the MSHTA fire here. And then afterwards, what do we see? We see a little bit more PowerShell. It's him trying to run it again because he is extra smart. And then we see some more PowerShell running it again. And then what happens at Explorer here? Let's see. Explorer launches Chrome. And then I can't really tell what if Chrome is doing anything in here. It's using Chrome's built-in unzipping service. Okay, so this looks like it's probably legit in here. What about in services.exe? That's just the Amazon SMS thing. Okay, so we can confirm he ran it. So he ran this. You're getting contained. Boop. There we go. The American way of month, day, year always confuses me. I know. I personally would prefer it to be year, month, day. I like it in that order. Day, month, year doesn't make any sense to me. Because then when you sort something, you get all the days in the years. So doing year, month, and day always made the most sense to me. Yeah, Bobby, they look pretty legit. They had to do something with Chrome's built-in unzipping sandbox, which I didn't know that was even a thing. But okay, so we quarantined his machine. Let's see. Let's put that here. Quarantined Dylan's machine. It totes ran the MP4 file. All right, is there any other piece of intel that we need for this? Let's see. We already kind of looked at all those. I think we're... I don't think we can get a copy of it from Dylan's machine. Let's just go over to the case manager. Let's see what it actually wants to walk us through in here. So... Did I already close this one? Yeah. Open. Oh, I haven't opened one for this yet. Hang on. We got to go back up to our investigation channel and go ahead and open a case on it. So, create case. And then start the playbook. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we do have a Discord. And it's mostly just guys in there chilling out, talking about interesting tech stuff. Try to keep it pretty chill. We have a good time. I've got a new project I'm working on that I'll hopefully get to release in a couple weeks, but I do want to get it live. I want to get it tested in a live fire system. So Potion, we're doing it not because the channel's going to get in trouble. I don't want you to get in trouble. So, how unpatriotic of you. Next thing you know, you'll be saying you use millimeters and liters. I mean, in certain instances, you know, like 9 millimeters. All right, so what do we need to do for this? Parse the email. So before starting the analysis, gather some information. Let's see. Are there attachments or URLs to the email? Does it contain an attachment or URL? Yes. Let's see. Analyze the URL attachment in a third-party sandbox. Please click malicious if it is malicious and click non-malicious. Oh, we have to... Hold on, we can go get the email? Hang on. Where's our email security? Let me go back over to this. I don't have it saved in here. Hang on. Wait, hold on. Can we actually go download this? Because that would be funny. Okay, thank God. But I didn't want to go download it, but I was going to check it. Hang on. Windows update.site. Let me drop this in. Can we get a copy of this? Could we get it from Dylan's machine? Hang on. Dylan. Let's see. Well, we can't really go get a copy of it. We know he went to it. It's on his computer. So unless we could get a copy of it. Let's see. The URL doesn't resolve anymore. But we can pretty well guess we can pretty well guess this is malicious because it was downloading as an MP4 and then running as an HTA file. So I once cooked a curry and it came out bad because of milliliters versus milliliters or some evil thing. Oh no. Let's see. Smirnesca? That's it. Hey, thanks for coming online. Welcome in. Happy Sunday. All right, let's see. Is there any other way we might be able to get this? We couldn't get it from the email. Let's see. I want to try something. Ah, we can't connect to it. Okay, screw it. I'm just going to say it's malicious. If the email was delivered to the user, it was delivered. Delete the email. Oh, oops. We did not delete the email. Let's see. Please go to the log management page. Check if the C2 address, it should be say is accessible. You can check if the malicious file is run by searching the C2 address of the malicious file. Check if someone opened. Oh, I know they opened it because we saw it. Let's see. Check in log management. Okay, let's go look in there real quick. What was the name of this file? The file was malloy.mp4. Let's see. Raw log contains. Let's see. So it was a GET request to it. So yeah, it was downloaded. And it was definitely opened. Containment. Go to the EDR page and contain the user's machine. We already did that. Add artifacts. Oh, you can add multiple artifacts. I'm an idiot. Okay. Let's do that. Let's drop this in here. Let's see. Actually, let's drop this in here first. Windows update.site. Let's do URL address. Value Windows update.site. Comment. Let's see. Click fix. Phishing domain. Yeah, 100% malicious since MSHTAs can be used to execute malicious payloads embedded in seemingly innocuous files like MP4As. Yeah. Yep. It is 100% totes malicious. Let's see. Let's drop this in here. This was the... Make this a URL address. This was the payload URL. Let's go put some more stuff in here. What else do we got? Let's see. Threat feed showed the source sending Luma stealers, so let's go get the source SMTP address in here. Let's go add that too. This is the, let's see, SMTP source tied to Luma stealer. So this will be an IP address, and we'll do next. Okay. Drop my notes. Next. Finish playbook. Confirm. Now close the alert on the monitoring page. Close alert. This was a true positive. Notes. He done did download the thing. There we go. There we go. Dude, Bobby, I don't know. I didn't even know LimeWire was still active until recently. That's wild. If you don't know what that is, you don't want to know either. Isn't it malicious the moment it tries to trick the user to executing a system command, even if it doesn't do anything really bad? I would have 100% have said, yeah, this is malicious just on its heuristics. Yeah. Oh, you're having them go open a site and then copy a command and then paste it in the computer? Yeah. The biggest mistake a lot of people make is they think of those click fix attacks as being technological when actually they're really just social engineering, getting you to go download and run something. LimeWire is where I got all my adult viruses. Oh, God. No, don't do it.
Don't do it, dummy.
This is actually surprisingly fun. Type data leakage. Let's see. What else do we have over here? Main channel. So I didn't really notice a difference between the stars and the unstarred ones. I think all the ones we've done have been criticals and highs. Let's try a low one. Here we go. Here's a low. Let's go grab that. Let's just see what this is. So type is unauthorized access. There's a show hint button? Oh, okay. Check Monica's email traffic. Well, I will. Let's get all of her info right here. All right, so this is VPN connection directly from an unauthorized country. Oh. So source and destination. So let's go check those real quick. User Monica. Hold on, did it say check her email? Well, I'm going to go check the threat intel feed first. So selected date range. This took place February 13th, 2024. So let's go February 2024. We'll do 13th. And we'll do IP address. And then let's check the source IP real fast. Search. Search. Anything? Bueller? I think we may have covered that one disclosure on one of the Wednesday night streams a while ago, and I think it was a really good one of them explaining like how it went through it. Hold on, let me see if that's the same one real quick. I'm giving this just a second to see if it actually will find it. That's all right. Let's expand the range a little bit. Now search. Okay, so no data came back in that time frame for that. What's the destination IP? Nothing came back there either. All right, hang on. Let me see if this is the right article I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I recognize that diagram. But yeah, that's a good one. One of the few good ones. You might want to go make a copy of it now before Microsoft takes it down like they do every one of their TechNet articles. And why you can never save those. Let's see. So our threat intel feed isn't showing anything for those IP addresses. So we can't necessarily check it, but we can go check Monica's email at the exact same time. So let's go check that. So, detailed search. Let's see. Let's take this out. This would be our recipient. And we want to change this to 2024. February. What is it? 13th. So we'll do February 12th through the 14th. Search. Okay, so the only thing she's gotten here is she has OTPs allowed. So she requested a one-time pass for VPN.Let's Defend. Oh. Oh. One of them's from Hanoi. Where's this one from? Hanoi. And this one's from Hanoi. Uh-oh. Whoa. All right, so let's put a note here. Monica has OTP email request showing the country of origin is Hanoi. And I don't think Hanoi is in the allowed prospects in here. So let's go open a case on that one real fast here. Yeah, I don't know if she's been pwned or if she was farming out her stuff to somebody. But let's definitely go create a case on this one. Let's see. It might be that they got her... Actually, hang on. Let me go back real quick. Let's go find something real quick. Let's go find Monica's computer. Monica. I wish it was that easy. A lot of times in real world, it is not that easy. Filter, let's see. Event time. contains... Yes. Actually, all of her stuff that's in here is around February 13th, 2024. So what's her browser history in here? Let's see. She went to Reddit and LinkedIn. What time did this trigger? This triggered at 2 in the morning. We have normal activity from her computer. Her network actions are absolutely monstrous. Let's see. What was the source IP address? Source address is this one. Let's filter that. Starts with. Nothing to that one. What about this address right here? This 33333. Nothing in there either. Okay. Let me do a sanity check on this. 10.155. Oh, wait. That's because it's looking for event time. I'm an idiot. There we go. Yeah. You have to be 10% smarter than your equipment. I am not, apparently. Okay, so nothing came back for that. They compromised her password but got blocked via MFA with the OTC probably. That's what I was thinking, Bobby. That's what it looks like. Her network traffic's not showing anything to those IP addresses. We could go through her process tree and take a look at it, but I think this one's kind of a clear-cut case. Let's go take a look at it and do the run book. Monda's gonna get fired. I know, right? Well, that's funny. Now, these aren't real IP addresses, but that's still hilarious, Potion. MFA bombing definitely used to be a thing. I think it still is in certain platforms. It's just now, for the most part, a lot of them require you to like enter whatever the number was, like GitHub does. All right, find the device in the alarm details on the endpoint security page and access the device with the help of the connect button. Wait, there's a connect button? Wait, there's no connect button. Connect button's a troll. It sure is. Verify. Alarms escalated from Tier 1 to Tier 2 should be caused by truly harmful events, but escalated alarms by Tier 1 analysts are not always true positives due to technical inadequacy, faulty or incomplete analysis, and authorization problems. Before initiating incident response process, please verify that the alarm from the Tier 1 analyst was caused by malicious activity. Well, I mean, it kind of was. Say true positive. Unauthorized access. All right, so define the threat actor. Increased logins to a computer system, multiple logins, user unable to log in, access to a system outside normal business hours. It was definitely outside normal business hours. Identify the source IP used in the attack. We got that. Does the IP address belong to the internal or external network? It is external. IP reputation. There was no IP reputation to this, though. We went and checked it. I mean, let's go double check it again. Copy. Select date range. 2024. February. And this happened on the 13th. So I'll check the whole week. IP address. Search. So nothing came back. So it's come back as non-malicious. Identify the impacted system. Detect all devices affected by this. Oh, shit. Okay. So what we need to do now is go back over to log management. And let's do source IP address. It's going to be here. How many came back for this? Destination IP address, they're all 33s in here. Let's see. These are all firewall logs, so they're not going to show us any particular user in here. Did I contain the computer? I did not. We probably should go do that. Monica. She's not contained. Contain it. Yes. Why? Because F Monica, that's why. Check destination port. Check the destination port. Use the network connection. Has a critical system been affected? Well, let's see. I mean, 443 was connected to. Firewall logs are not usually of huge value in and of themselves. They're usually part of the track you're going to go down to go look at, okay, did it connect something? Because a lot of times those internal systems are going to be natted in there. Choose if a critical system has been affected. No. Sensitive data at risk. I'm going to say no. Does the device need to be isolated? Yes. Please go to contain it on the EDR page. We did that. Backup evidences. So before starting the eradication process, the evidence on the system must be transferred to a secure environment. Please move the evidence on the system to a secure environment. Okay, sure. Let's see. Go to the endpoint security and connect to the machine. I want to. That's probably like a premium thing, because I don't see how we can connect to the machine. Recovery phrase is restoring all affected systems and devices for normal use. Lessons learned. Okay. What do I want to put in here? Hey, drummer. Thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. F Monica. Such a Bill thing to say. Oh, man. Yeah. Good old Slick Willie. That's how I first learned about things in the 2nd grade. When was that? So in 1995. So if that was in 1995, I would have been 11 years old. So I would have been in the 4th grade. Oh my God. You have a really nice friend named Monica? I bet you do, Bobby. All right. Hanoi. Next. Let's see. We'll say her password, probably pop. Getting OTP emails in off hours. Oh, you know what I just realized? Hang on one second. Let's go to email security. I want to search by, in that time frame, for anything that was from her, because if her laptop got compromised. Okay, notice how the recipient's always Monica. There's not a sender for Monica. What I was looking at, I was like, what if that they had compromised her laptop and it was forwarding those emails, or her email account? So the email gateway is not showing that, because what we would see is we would see something like from security at Let's Defend to Monica, and then we'd see something else from Monica to another one if it was an auto forwarder. So that's what I was thinking about. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, confirm, finish playbook, continue. All right, close alert, true positive. She trying to log in from Hanoi. Probably not the best thing. We could reinvestigate. Oh, interesting. Do we ever get feedback on this? I lost. Oh, hold on. I didn't realize this. There's feedback here after you submit it. I lost 5 points for what's the attack type. I thought I chose unsafe deserialization. Hold on. What did I do? How did I do on this one? We nailed that one. What about this one? Nailed that one. How did I do on Monica? I checked the IP reputation. I checked the IP reputation. You're full of crap. Does the device need to be isolated? Sure it does, because screw Monica. Dude, Gumby, I'll tell you something funny. So when I was in college, I graduated when I was in college, when I was 30, almost 31. I graduated December, and I turned 31 in January. And I was working with some young, like 18, 19-year-old college kids in the class. And I actually had to ask them, I was like, do y'all even know what Friends is? And I was grateful they did. I was like, oh, thank God, I'm not that old. The interface is missing a bomb Hanoi button. That'd be pretty funny. Any emails that used to be sent to users from outside the network were set to quarantine. Ooh, interesting. That's a problem if you really need VIP and they don't tell you. Because as a new user trying the free tier, I hit a point where the site seems broken to me because I can't use that functionality. If it wants me to use it, it doesn't tell me why I can't use it, that I should pay for seemingly broken site. That's true. That's a good point. Hey, I tell you what, Bobby, you're in. Hang on a sec. Bobby, I need you to do some research real fast. Hold on, I gotta find you real quick. All right, hey Bobby, ignore that ping. It's just so I can message you real fast. All right. Hang on, let me go get... There we go. Yeah, hang on, Gumby. I'm going to let you claim mod rights on it. What I want you to do is go log in, go get your VIP set up, and see if you've got the connect button on the EDR so we can tell everybody. All right, there you go, Gumby. I just sent it to you too. What I want you to do is, once you get logged in, I want you to come over to you go to practice up here. And then once you're in here, you don't actually have to go grab a case or anything. Just go to endpoint security. Go to Monica's machine. Right here. And I want to know if there's a connect button over here. Hey, Poppy, what's up, dude? I was looking at ultra small viruses and I found an O-Day internet-wide exploit. What do I do with them?
You'd start the responsible disclosure process. That would be the best thing to do. I mean, if it depends on, if you really want more advice on it, go hit me up on Discord and we can talk. And then I can kind of provide you some guidance in there. No, don't give them the potion. Oh, God, that's old. If it's still around and kicking, I can give you some guidance on it. But hit me up on Discord, and I'll get you. I'll kind of like guide you through it, because that's pretty bad, especially if it's internet wide in there. All right, the guys are going to check out. I want to see what's going on with this in here, because I went and checked this. Hang on. Does the evidence check IP reputation, which I did. There were only 2 IPs in here, right? Now you're gonna show up? Hold on. That's bogus. Ooh, you made me tea. Thank you. Sock brought me some tea. Tasty. Hey, Blind, what's up, man? No, we're searching for this IP address in here. Hold on. Let me go. This is dated December 2023 with a brute force tag. Oh, that's why it didn't show up. It didn't show up because it was outside the date range where we had it flagged. That's what was going on. So, Bobby, all you have to do is go up here at the top where it says practice after you get that VIP set up, and then it should log you in, right? Oh, what kind of tea? It's one that's like a special one from, I think, Mountain Rose Herbs. Who's it from? Is it, oh, Republic of Tea. Burnout Blocker. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. This is what she usually makes me at night. No, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. But it's a tea actually with, I don't think this is the right one, but it's got a couple different extracts from a couple different mushrooms in it. It's good for helping you unwind at night. Yeah. Yes, it's decaf tea. I already have usually... Did you take my Jocko can? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the one, though. Super Adapt Burnout Blocker. I don't know why it didn't come up on the site, but it is chaga and cordyceps. I don't know why they renamed it to energy. It doesn't energize me. No. But, yeah, that's what she'll do with it. Well, I guess actually, yeah, if you're burnout, like if it's helping mellow you out, yeah, it would kind of give you energy. These sound like fancy drug teas. Not those kind of mushrooms, Deefus. No, sir. No, Sock is my tea aficionado. She didn't actually like coffee until, what was it? We'd been married for like 5 years before she finally actually started drinking coffee. And now she went back to drinking decaf. Yeah. Anyway, so it's really good, especially at nighttime. Let's see. So Gumby said he's not seeing the connect button in here. Okay, I'll double check with Falcon. I was like, hey man, and I'll give him some feedback on it because he's got the more inside lane to it. But the cool thing is you can also go through and, I mean, this is really cool, but also the learning paths is like the big thing for it. Especially like, what was it?
the malware analysis ones look pretty cool. And they've got them broken down by all sorts of different types in here. Oh, go over to practice, Bobby. And then once you're in practice, go to endpoint security. And then I think you can pretty much just click on any one of them, but see if there's... This one's got it. Stewart's machine doesn't have it. They're listening. Oh wait, we actually quarantined that one. Hey. Ubuntu dev, hold on. What is this? This button, I have video evidence. This was not here earlier. I think that's because I quarantined Monica. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna unquarantine her. Change. Containment removed. Okay, so for some reason, Monica's machine doesn't have it. What about Cooper's machine? Cooper's machine... Yeah, so Dylan and Monica don't have it, but Cooper does? Go to lab. Ah, you bastards. You bastards. It's weird that Dylan's and Monica's don't have it. Hey, Bobby, go to Cooper's machine and go to lab. What does it do? So if you hit go to lab, does it actually bring up like an RDP session to their machine? Let's see. I was just double checking InfoSec streams too, because we need to wrap up the stream. Nobody's also... We're not even showing up online. It's weird. It's weird. VIP Plus for free trial? Ah. Even after you redeemed the code in there? Maybe that's just for the learning part of it then. Okay. Hold on, let me look right here. Oh, okay. The keys are for VIP. I did not realize there was a VIP Plus. All right. Well, that explains it. Still, I thought the learning simulator was fun. The little sock simulator. This is pretty cool. Especially since you can see, like, you can look at them this way, like, hey, threat intel's coming up with something, exchange, brute force attack, things like that. And then the one thing I really like is if we come over to the closed alerts, right? And we expand it down, it tells you where you missed something in here. So we did miss something for this one, even though I thought it was bogus. Machine didn't need to be isolated. I'm going to argue that one. Screw Monica. It should have been isolated. But the IP reputation, we checked. However, it was outside this time frame. April 27. The reputation for this machine was in December. Oh, we actually could have downloaded it. Hold on. Hold the phone. Could I have downloaded the Luma Stealer? What's the discussion do? Oh, it takes you over to Discord. I don't want to join the Discord. Not right now, anyway. Please tell me this is going to download as a zip file. Oh, it's going to download a PDF in there. Okay, no, I don't want that. Damn it, I was hoping it was going to let me download the... No, that one was downloading a PDF in there. I was hoping that's what it would do. Yeah. All right. All my beautiful hackers. We do have to wrap it up for tonight. So let me go find somebody to raid over to.
Oh, hats. By the way, I forgot to mention your message there. I should make an NSA simulator. Funny enough, we actually kind of have one. This is a game that Bobby turned me on to. This is a game called Night Team 4, and I had started kind of playing through it. And it's one of the, it's from, what's her name? Allison something. Oh, who's the publisher of this? Allison Smith, yeah. And so it's actually a really fun game. So if I get to do more gaming streams, I'm gonna finish Alan Wake first. So, hey, no problem, Potion. So yeah, if you like fun hacker simulator games with a puzzle aspect, this is a pretty good one. I liked it. You know what, Disclosure? I'll go ahead and just send you one. Yeah. Message me on Discord. I'll hook you up. All right, let's see here. We got to go right over to somebody right now. Let's take a look. Who's online? Hectic's on. She's doing more Arc Raiders. Let's see. Who's over in Science and Tech right now? Anybody do anything fun right now? Not really. Science is on. What are they talking about? Oh, he's playing Pragmata. That looks really fun. That's like Dad Simulator 2026, what that game is. Yeah. Bobby, I think that's probably going to be the next game I pick up on, you know, the very sporadic gaming streams that I do after finishing up Alan Wake Remastered. Yeah, Zed is on. You know what? We'll go right over to Zed. He's always doing fun C++ stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go right over to Zed. He's doing fun stuff. Oh, wait. Rob is on? No way. Hold on. Hold the phone. What's Rob working on? Sometimes he's working on his writing and stuff. Yeah, he's doing some fun stuff. Okay, perfect. Excellent, Gumby. Yes, we're going to go right over to Rob. Excellent. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that's where I got to wrap it up. Where's the button? Boop. There it is. Thank y'all for coming to hang out. I missed y'all last night. I was really going to try to stream from the race and just do like a campfire hangout. Unfortunately, the signal out there was atrocious. So I apologize. Atreyu. I think that's how you're going to say it. Thanks for coming online. Welcome in. Unfortunately, here at the end. But that's the gist of it, guys. I will catch up with y'all on Wednesday. We'll do some more hacker news. If you've got news stories that you want to see covered on the stream, I can't get to all of them, but I try really hard to. Drop them over in the Discord thread. And I think that's all I got for you guys. Tomorrow is Crushing It mode. For some of y'all, it is already Monday. So Crushing It mode should already be into effect. If it's not, prepare yourselves, get a good night's sleep, and we do not go weekly into the week. We go crushing it into the week. I want you guys to remember that. I'll catch up with y'all on Wednesday. And I want y'all to remember one very important thing. I love you. Peace.